Hi, we're Fleece, and you're listening to WRSU FM, New Brunswick.
I was actually sick.
That was sick. You have a radio.
I've rehearsed.
I put your picture on the wall so I could see you so small.
I guess we should start with like introductions and how you all started working with each other.
Sure.
Me and Ethan were like we were friends in kindergarten, and then I was like, I don't want to hang out with that kid anymore to my mom, and then we became friends again in high school, and we started playing music together.
Yeah.
And then, in fairness, you were like a psycho kid, I think.
I was a psycho kid. I'm still a little psycho, but you just got more psycho.
Yeah, I got more psycho, you got less psycho, and then we met in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful meeting it is.
And then Meg and I met in res, and then we all kind of at school, and then we all were in Fleece a couple years later.
Yeah.
Do you think that because I know there were different lineups for the band over the years, Megan, did you feel like you kind of meshed in really well right off the bat, or was there a bit of like a learning curve, for lack of a better word?
Well, it took me some time to figure out what my role really was, because at the time I had when I joined the band, I had never really thought that being in a touring band was part of my life trajectory. It sort of happened by accident even. And then really quickly, it just became something that was the most important thing in my whole life. And then I've always been a musician, but never even really planned to be in a band like this. And then we went on tour, and we all just fell in love, and we really, really gelled as friends, and it was just the best time of my life.
Was there a moment on tour that you were like, this is the real deal?
I don't know if there's one moment, but it really is just the sum of all these little moments where we spend 100% of our time together, and sometimes it's really overwhelming, but still we manage to have really good communicative moments, and we really take care of each other on tour, I think. And in general, we really are best friends as a band.
Mm-hmm.
We're also Fleece is therapy.
Fleece is therapy.
For a while I was on tour, I used to be a summer camp staff, so I was like, I'm gonna bring my summer camp staff training into Fleece. Every day we're gonna have a check-in, and if anyone's feeling any kind of animosity towards each other, or anything's a little bit off, we're gonna talk about it, because otherwise we're gonna hate each other.
Yeah, and we do that all the time, and it's the healthiest relationship ever.
Yeah. I love the idea of one camp counselor and the rest of you are just campers in the band. That dynamic is so funny in my brain.
I feel like we oscillate between who the camp counselor is.
Yeah, we totally do.
Yeah.
We are all at one
person
point.
Who's hey, hold on.
Yeah. And that role reversal switches all the time.
Psycho.
Yeah.
And then how has Corona and quarantine affected the way that you guys are writing together?
Well,
first it was we thought it was horrible. We had a whole bunch of tours planned, and it just kind of completely derailed our summer plans, as it happens with every band. But it kind of ended up working out in our favor a bit, because we got to really focus on finally recording and finishing the album, and it kind of gave us no other thing we could do other than finish writing and recording. So little bit of a blessing of what are your priorities right now? Is it touring and playing all these shows and doing this, or do you just need to finish this record already?
Let us focus.
Are there any coronavirus timestamps in your music? I know some people are filming videos now, and they have masks on, and there's a very visible this was a Corona project.
Oh,
Is there any of that in the new stuff?
in the actual music?
Yeah,
Do
or
they
any,
sing
I
inside?
don't know. I don't know if in the music, but we definitely did some recordings that are like timestampy, like that RBC live thing where we're just like all wearing masks indoors, like a light show in the background. Like we'll always look back on that being like, that was COVID for sure. But in
Yeah.
the songs,
But Matt, what about Upside Down? Today I'm
yeah,
standing.
yeah,
inside.
Upside Down definitely has a
Mhm.
bit of coronavirus lyric.
In the
vibe.
music video for So Long.
Oh, so
Yeah.
long, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, you wrote those lyrics before Corona. It's more just
Yeah,
the
that was
music video.
scary.
Yeah, Danielle, this is a notable fact. Matt tells the future and the prophet in those senses. So that's the danger about his lyrical powers is that
Because
when he says
on
something,
January 1st, 2020, I was like, I'm not doing anything this year. This year's a write-off. Like, that's it. And then like a month and a half later, I was like, whoa.
yeah.
I was like, shit, this year is gonna be a write-off.
is that I'm processing. Is that something that that happens frequently to you? That you'd say something that is like vaguely prophetic?
Some with lyrics sometimes. Like I think but sometimes my lyrics are just like vague enough that they work.
Yeah.
But like but like definitely sometimes it's like, whoa.
Mhm.
Like
Well, it's just very like carnival, what's it called? Psychic, where they just
Yeah.
say something that is definitely like probably gonna happen, and then when it does, they can be like, "See, I told you."
Carnival Psychic is a good band name.
well, so long is about like just like being on our phones all the time and like being like, okay, the world's over. This is what it is now. The old world's done.
Mm-hmm.
And then so when we were releasing it, like COVID happened, I was like, fuck, this like has all these lyrics that already exist before have all this like new meaning, which was kind of cool. So
Mhm.
like, that's I guess the prophetic. And I'm Jesus. Oh,
Yeah. Don't want to go to your head.
Don't forget about that part. Welcome to Fleece. My name is Matt. This is Jameson. This is Megan. And this is Ethan.
This is Ethan.
Here we are as people in the world.
Okay, let's play. What are we playing?
Was that cringe?
Do you feel like TikTok has like opened up a space for you to connect with new listeners?
Totally.
Ethan,
Yeah.
Ethan, you talk about that one. Ethan's killed it on TikTok. Ethan, like, we wouldn't be on TikTok if it weren't for Ethan.
It's just I like for my entire life have always just filmed everything, not because I just like laughing at videos of myself and my friends.
Mhm.
And now there's finally an outlet where I can put all these random videos I have. And like we used to do these tour vlogs when we were on the road, and they were really fun to do, but they were a lot of work because we were doing them while also touring.
Right.
And often like I'd be doing it in the car, but also I'd have to be filming in the car. So it was just a lot of work. But this is a great way to just like go back on these years and years of footage that I think is so funny and still share with the world in a way that like you can't really do it on Instagram or you can't really do it on Facebook or YouTube. It just doesn't make sense there.
Instagram's kind of like, it's so business formal, and like TikTok's like anyone just like anyone who wants to read us can read us, you know, like say whatever they want about
Yeah.
this
And it
video.
gives you a feeling that they can like actually hang out with us, which I think is like a big general goal for us. We just want to be we just want to be as real and silly and dumb on the internet as like we are in real life, so people can feel like they're hanging out with us. I think that's the goal.
That's so true.
What is a quarf?
It's a quarf.
It's a quarf.
It's
Don't
okay.
look it up.
Yeah, you gotta don't look it up. Do you want like the real story? You want the fake story?
I didn't look to see if it was a real word. I just went into it with the assumption that it was fleece specific.
It's so Fleece
We're
specific.
trying to reappropriate it, yeah, at this point.
But even the definition is like Urban Dictionary. It's not a real word.
Yeah, it's true. So it's our word now.
There was this song me and Jameson made called the Quarf song, where we were just like bored in my basement, and then one of the lyrics was, "Did you hear that?" And then I say, "That's a Quarf." And then we were on tour, and I was like, "Okay, let's play this game where if someone says, 'Did you hear that?' you have to respond with 'That's a Quarf,' or else you lose."
And you get
then
Quarf.
now it's just like kind of like out of control, and we just say Quarf. Quarf is like the euphemism for like the shit post. I feel like now it's like,
Yeah, it is.
Fleece and Quarf. Like, all the bullshit is Quarf.
All the bullshit is Quarf, and we have really turned it into a serious
brand.
Into a serious problem too.
It is a problem. Yeah. Anytime somebody says, "Did you hear that?"
That's a Quarf.
That's a Quarf. And you
And
put
sometimes
yourself
it's like sometimes it's like we don't want to play. Like yesterday, me and Ethan were on the phone with our mixing engineer, and he's like, "Did you hear that?" And then like neither of us responded, but that's a Quarf. Also, you guys just got Quarf.
But it got completely silent. Like and then we had to wait for him to say a follow-up sentence, otherwise we would lose.
Otherwise,
What do you think of the Quarf? Do you think it's just really stupid?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think it's stupid. I just didn't get it, but I'm glad now that I.
That's it. Maybe we're just not explaining it right. But I think like if you don't get it, you kind of get it because there's nothing really to get.
No, there's definitely an element of mystery to it.
Yeah.
I almost like didn't want to ask because I was like, maybe this is like their secret band.
This is how you make us cry if you ask.
I'm not so sorry, it's your fault.
Okay, POV. You're casting a gay coming of age film where the entire soundtrack is your discography. Who are you casting and what's the plot?
Heck. Whoa. Let's get in.
oh my God.
Whoa.
What a great
Good
celebrity.
question.
Yeah, that's fun.
Definitely Alexander Skarsgård as my dad. I'm in it. Timothy Chalamet is my cousin.
Is Alexander the It one?
Megan and Ethan and Jameson are my pets. What was your question?
Is Alexander the It clown or is that a different Skarsgård?
Difference. Let's look. Is Alexander? I don't think so.
I think that one.
Alexander Skarsgård's the hot blonde one from True Blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies to Alexander Skarsgård.
But he could be a good It clown too, maybe. And what's it about? It's about taking a shovel and digging in your backyard and realizing that you should have been at home the whole time.
As opposed to being in your backyard.
Yeah.
Taking a shovel, digging in your backyard, realizing that there's an underground city in there.
Oh, I love that. Okay. And me and Alexander Skarsgård go into the underground city together.
Yeah.
And then it turns out he's not actually my dad, he's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And then all my dogs, Megson, Jameson, and Ethan are tagging along.
We're tagging along and we keep digging. We're the ones
You're
digging.
the diggers.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. We're all like,
wow, this movie's amazing.
Yeah, I would watch it.
I love that.
That sounds fun. Like I want to live that life too. I'm ready to be a dog digging in my backyard.
Yeah. Can't wait to have a backyard.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have this shovel that you.
To be a dog.
Yeah, you will.
We never have as many dogs as we do now as a band.
That's huge.
It's huge for us.
Are they gonna be in any of the music videos once you guys can see each other again?
That should be a thing.
What?
All the dogs in a music video together.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially, yeah.
It'd be fun. My dog's still a puppy, so she's not supposed to leave the house until she has to get one more booster.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll be ready to be a star.
Like by the time we're filming another music video, she'll be old enough and hopefully can listen well enough to be in a video.
Aww.
You could just do the plot of your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
We'll get your dog to play Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
What?
That's hard.
Oh! Do the Quarf dance, baby.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, what is your controversial music hot take?
Controversial music hot takes.
Beethoven.
Indie rock is the best genre. What up? Huh. I think I like some Nickelback songs sometimes.
Oh
I'm
my
really
god.
there with you. I've been
But
singing.
I think I'm just saying that to be controversial.
Yeah, you never admitted that before.
No.
Here we are.
Definitely all week I've been singing Nickelback in this house, just as a random thing. It's just been coming up in my brain.
True.
I was caught singing a Jonas Brothers song this morning. Sometimes
That's
they
lovely.
slip out.
Which one?
I have no clue. I think it came to me in a dream, and then now.
So it might not be real.
I don't know if it's real. Reality and dreamland are slowly meshing into one weird absorbed thing.
Absolutely.
Controversial. Oh, here's a controversial music hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Genres don't exist anymore.
Oh my
It's
god.
not really a hot take though. I think genres have turned into vibe.
Yeah, I
Once
think.
the word vibe became a thing, it just everything made more sense.
Well, genre lines used to be like so concretely divided.
Yeah.
And now people just like borrow elements from all sorts of things. And if you start borrowing elements from something that was already borrowing elements from like multiple places, it just becomes like this hazy
Well, but
realm.
yeah, it becomes hazy, but then it's like what does the mood of that song reflect, and where would you want to put that song on? Like, where
Right.
does that song make sense? In the car, at home, in the shower? Like, I think that's what music is now. It's like, where are we gonna put the music?
Between the first two albums and the new singles that you guys are putting out, very different in terms of like aesthetic and cover art, which is really cool and also really beautiful. The styling and the coloring of the videos are stunning. So who are you working with? What's your secret? Tell us everything.
We
My
were
friend, my like high school friend Dylan, who made that rock.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's been doing most of it.
Mm-hmm.
He did the first album because he came over to our place in first year, and we were like, we're in a band and we're making an album. And he's like, cool. And then just made a design and was like, I like this design. Do you want it? And that kind of turned into the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then the second album, he came up, we like just started working with Dylan again because he's really easy and fast and
That's
kind
cool.
of gets it. And Matt was like, here's the idea. It's my hand chasing after another hand because it's me talking to myself in the past, but I never quite catch up. And then Dylan just kind of made a spiral logo of hands that was really, it just was so simple and iconic. And as soon as we saw it, we were like, whoa, that's it. And then there's just like a couple refinements.
And then it was placing Voyager and Fleece in the corner for like a month.
Yeah, just like and like getting the font right. So many choices.
Mm-hmm.
Fonts are
Yeah.
really important to the artistic process.
I'd
The
imagine.
singles art though, we've all been like really into like the 60s kind of 70s style of art, and we had this idea of like that little kind of like, we have three kind of places to put our creative energy. One place with an image, one place with like what the title is, and one place with another image. And we can talk with color, and we're like, let's just keep this like as like a template, and then like whatever the song's about, let's like
Yeah.
place in those three. And like I feel like it gives like, if you really look into all of them, you can kind of get the vibe or the mood of what the song's about and kind of what
Mhm.
And it was fun because we got to work, like we've been working with Dylan for so long and he's amazing. And so we still got to work with him, but also got to work with other artists.
Mhm.
Like my roommate did the So Long artwork in the middle, which I have right here.
Yeah. Oh,
We were
amazing.
painting, and we got to work with different
Dylan took
photographers. Matt took one of the photos for the album cover. And it was fun because we got to play with colors and it still looked cohesive.
Mhm.
we didn't have to pick one color scheme like we did with the last album.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this next album cover though, which we're working on now. We're in the middle of it. In the middle of it, I mean, we actually haven't really started. We finished the mix of the album, and now we have the name for the album, and now we need to make it match and make it hot and sexy.
We got some ideas yet to come.
In the music video for Do You Mind Leave the Lights On, you all, this might be a stupid question, but you all were wearing this really beautiful lip gloss. And I was wondering if like the styling and the makeup for your videos, is that like done by one person? I saw the credits, so I know makeup is done by someone, but is that like collaborative or is it just like take the wheel?
We had a director, Adam Capriolo, who slayed it, who kind of had like most of the ideas. And then we work with our friend Chantal Graham at Instagram. And she just was like, we want it simple. Let's see what you do. And she just like did it simple. It's like a little bit of glitter, a little bit of gloss.
Mm-hmm.
We all kind of look like sisters.
Vaseline with glitter on our lips.
Was it?
Yeah, like we all kissed a glitter monster.
Yeah, it was really uncomfortable actually, but like no big deal because it looked great.
You end up ingesting a lot of glitter.
Was it uncomfortable?
Yeah, glitter on the lips, you forget. Is like
I don't remember. I don't think I had glitter on my lips.
No, you were a free-lipped girl.
I had glitter on my lips and
I'm so sorry that you all had to go through that.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you remember we had to like tape our faces to get the glitter off?
Not
I think
at
that
all.
was just you, Ethan, because you're such a fidgety little kid that you were just like swallowing it all throughout the day.
Sure, I guess I'm the only one that's like.
You're a lip licker.
So with the new releases and like the gap between the new releases and Voyager, what do you guys feel like you've learned about each other to make the creative process work better and more efficiently?
Great question.
That's a good question.
Also end on before I'm looking at this 4 minutes timer in the background. I'm getting scared that we're gonna get cut off.
Yeah, because this is the good question where you could really go in.
For me, I've always had like a big issue with like control and power within the band where like there was like this moment where like 2 members left and then all of a sudden like for Voyager like I had a lot of control. And then Megan and Jameson kind of joined the band at first, like more as like studio musicians. And then it became this thing where like, actually they're fully part of the band. And so like this album and this process was like a process of me like learning to let go and like be more and like turn into a collaborative process. So like going into the studio and like, you know, coming up with some chords, but being like, just like let everyone come up with their parts and let it all come together and let these songs have like their Fleece magic. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really evident in the new record that like it's much more collaborative. Because I think the sound is like pretty cohesive throughout in terms of like all 4 elements coming together in this way where we're all happy and we're all like liking the songs together. And so yeah, that's my take on like how the collaborative process has changed. Now it's like now it is the 4 of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like the way that the genre sort of blends, like in the new album, there are really obvious influences from all these different types of all of our own personal like music upbringings. Like I don't know, I feel like Jameson brought like a funk side that wasn't maybe in the old stuff, and we've got like jazz influence, we have folk influence from that. Just it's very clear that we're all like putting aspects of ourselves into it to create like a new Fleece sound.
I feel like yeah, it's just like the collaborative process has changed. Before it was like it was totally me coming to the table with like all these songs and being like this is the way they are, and now it's more like hey, here's like some chords I made, let's change it up together.
And
but even more so,
and not always.
Like, even more so, I feel like it's just us jamming for 30 minutes, and then Matt's like, "Stop, that's cool," and then we go from there.
Yeah,
like
it is usually jammed when we're all together.
Jam and then directed by Matt for the most part after we jam for like a X amount of time, and then we get this direction, and then once it starts it just kind of goes, and then there's a song.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
And we
say
go
it's
in the
like,
direction of like what feels good for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, that
Well,
like,
means
because
we're
when we're
all different
jamming, everyone's
styles.
writing their own parts to the song and everyone's feeding off what everyone's doing. And then it's just about structuring this 30-minute jam into a 3.5 to 5.5 minute song.
100%.
It comes from like a 40-minute voice memo jam
Mm-hmm.
that we reference back to.
And I was reading one of your interviews that you did a couple years ago with Exclaim, and I was really kind of struck by how forthcoming you were about kind of like the trial and error process of writing and of working with people. And I guess like with the new stuff coming out, what feels different or better to you than maybe the older stuff?
I think we found our sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest one. Like it's kind of like this half stunning, half atrocious, half like Motown vibe. Like half like we definitely, I think this album takes elements from Scavenger. It's got like a bit of like the Wake and Bake vibe sometimes, but it's also got like the beautiful Leave the Light On, and it kind of oscillates between the two. And I think we're kind of like this gay rock sound is what I'm calling it now.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
like
it's perfect.
and I think that's the biggest difference between the stuff is like we all like it. Like the old stuff was like sometimes it was like, oh, like we're playing Matt's song, and I can always tell everyone's like, we're just playing Matt's song, let's do it. And the difference is like we're not. We're playing Fleece song.
We were also a lot more patient with ourselves, being that like after those two members quit, it really just felt like the band was Matt, Ethan, and our old bass player Gabe.
Yeah.
And then the two studio musicians. And then once Megan and Jameson joined, we kind of like were relearning how to write as a 5-piece. And then our bass player left. And then we had to like kind of relearn how to write as a 4-piece. And then like it did take a lot of work. There's like definitely a whole album's worth of music of like songs that I still think are awesome and are fully written and some recorded, but like they just weren't us yet. They just were like, it sounded like us trying to fake it or us like not quite confident in what our sound is. And so
well, yeah, totally. Now when we write, we're like, if something goes in a direction that we're like, this doesn't make sense, it's because it doesn't make sense within like it sounding like Fleece.
Yeah.
And versus like I don't like that. It's like, no, it just doesn't sound like us. Like let's try and get it. So it's like in that world still.
Yeah. So like there were just a lot of songs that were written and cut for this album before we honed in on the amount of songs that we chose to go on the album.
Right. And when you are putting together this album, do you kind of view your album as a cohesive, not so much a concept album, but like a cohesive body of work that goes together, or more of like a collection of songs?
This one feels cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't written to be cohesive, but we kept the songs together that work one after the other. And like even like we were just finishing the mixes, and there's like at the end of one song, so there's like this part where I go shh, and at the beginning of the next song I go shh, and then like the two together, like it was just like felt redundant as like a whole piece. Or like, okay, let's take out the shoop thing because like it just doesn't work when we're doing this thing as a whole.
Yeah.
Because we want the full spectrum listenability, like long road trip kind of feeling for this album, and I think we got it.
Yeah, it's one to drive to.
It's one to drive to.
Put in the car and go,
woo!
And then go, oh.
And in terms of like lyrics too, like I feel like there is like a story in general of I don't know, different realizations and stuff of relationships. Matt, you can talk on that more, but just like there's different realizations of what's going on with our relationships and our like relationship to the world and all these crazy things, which to me is just little samples of how we've like thought differently and realize things about ourselves over the last like whole 4 or 5 years since Voyager.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, this album, I feel like this album's a lot about like self-betterment in relation to like relationships,
Mm-hmm.
like technology and people. Would be
It's a self-help. This album is a self-help book.
Yeah.
a self-help book for like for my honestly, it's a self-help book for me to look back on. Like if anyone else feels like it's a self-help book too, that's sick.
Yeah.
What do you hope that like your listeners, either old ones from alt J parody video days or new ones from TikTok, like what do you hope that they get out of the new stuff?
Probably like it. I mean, if they don't, that's sick too. But like, like, I hope they're just like, wow, this band's grown up. But also, I have no expectations. Truthfully, I never try to have any expectations with this stuff in terms of like how it's released. I think it's good. We think it's good. So like, if the old fans are like, nah, I know there's new fans that are gonna be like, hell yeah. So. And I'd be surprised if the old fans were like, nah, to BH.
But there are also some fans that just like only like the first album.
True.
But that's okay. And like,
but I think if they
like
only like the first album, they are gonna like this album more than Voyager.
Yeah. But there's also elements of like people are fans of albums and some people are fans of bands. And so like,
Yeah.
they both can exist and they're both like, yeah, I don't know. People are gonna like it. I hope.
Do you mind? We leave the light on.
Well, thank you guys so much for this.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, you guys have a good rest of your day.
You too.
You too.
No.
Bye.
Bye.
Kisses. Mwah.
Mwah, bye.
Bye.